What is real? See, for real. Are they for real? Is that real? What is real? Well, this is real.
Hi out there, people. Recently, I got an email from a teacher who claimed to work at a public school and said, "Well, Nick, you're very optimistic, but how do we get out of a tech oligarchy like we're currently stuck in? How do we get out of this scenario? I don't know, because it seems like every day it's just, my students are falling into it, and it's just like, wow, how do I reverse course?" And my response was, well, you just change things. That's what you do. It's how it's always been. It's how it always will be. If you can't see a way out of the current situation, I guess you're just really fucking stupid. You lack an imagination, and this is because the system has been designed to destroy your imagination. But if you don't have an imagination, that's your problem, not my problem. And effective change is the same as it's always been and it's always going to be. We get new ideas, new and better ideas, and we build the future with these new and better ideas instead of taking the shit ideas from the stupid people up top. This is pretty obvious to me, but for whatever reason, someone whose literal job it is to teach the next generation of human beings about living in the world doesn't know this. It's pretty fucking sad, isn't it? But it's not a surprise to me, because I've never really liked public education teachers as people. I find them pretty grating and annoying, and I can't say I ever had a teacher in public school who I liked. I found them all annoying. And this isn't really a problem in the rest of the world, from what I can tell. Like in France, the teachers seem like generally level-headed people. But here in America, for whatever reason, our public education system seems to be set up so that it only rewards or keeps the narcissists who believe that they are qualified to teach the next generation of people without understanding the systems under which they operate, or maybe even really being qualified to teach the next generation of people. There isn't much that goes into vetting for teachers. We don't tend to ask for the qualifications or personal viewpoints much. We just tend to give someone who wants to be a teacher, yeah, you want to be a teacher, you want to have this low-paying crap job for like 5 years and then quit once you get tired, here you go. And it's either because someone wants to be creative and smart, but that's like the only job available to them, or because they legitimately believe they're qualified to teach the next generation of people. But if something like this comes along, even the slightest bit of adversity, they have no idea how the fuck to move forward. If there's going to be a economic crisis 4 times as big as the 2008 recession, if it's going to be the next Great Depression, they just have no fucking idea what to do. Well, during the Great Depression, there were in fact teachers who had to just do shit and move forward and move past it. And they got used to it, and they did it, But, economic instability shouldn't make teachers weak. It should actually make them stronger, more driven to help the children, more driven to help the next generation and get things moving forward. But I guess this is just too much to ask from a system that prioritizes and incentivizes rampant narcissism. Just, oh, I'm the best teacher, I'm super qualified, and I'm responsible enough to teach the next generation of students. The difference between me and a public education teacher is I'm not full of myself enough to believe that I can teach the next generation jack shit. I don't even like children, so why the fuck would I be in a fucking public school? That's fucking stupid. Of course not. But I think I have thoughts that are of some value, and that's why I write novels, because I think novels are a more effective means of communicating ideas, and they're how I learned anything worth knowing. Anything worth knowing I learned from books like Dune. I learned from books like The Three Policemen. That was one of my favorites growing up. It was a little French book about these 3 cops, and it's like a sea monster that they invented. There's another one called like 1001 Balloons. I don't know. There's lots of good books I read, but I read them all of my own volition. I wasn't diagnosed any of them in school. The school curriculum sucked. It was Catcher in the Rye, To Kill a Mockingbird. These books are fucking boring, and no one is going to love reading by reading fucking Catcher in the Rye or To Kill a Mockingbird. Kids are supposed to relate to Catcher in the Rye because, like, the protagonist is this insufferable little dipshit, the first emo. Here's a book I find really cool, A Scanner Darkly, right? But no one is going to tell you to read this in public school. This is never going to be assigned in any public school curriculum because it's about drug addiction. We can't have the kids learning about how drug addiction works, how it keeps a certain socioeconomic class down and a certain socioeconomic class up, because then they might realize they're being screwed over. So let's make drug addiction an off-limits topic, right? Philip K. Dick is a pretty smart fucking guy, pretty cool guy, and I relate to Scanner Darkly. I really like the book. I really like the movie. It's a good adaptation. I like the book a lot, and you can learn a lot from the book, but it will not be taught in public school because there's scenes like the main character, Bob Arctor. He goes to a store. No, it's Charles Frick. Charles Frick goes to a store, and if you don't have a credit card, you can't get in, right? You have to have a credit card, and the security guards check if you have a credit card before you can go into the mall. Recently, I went to a concert. I went to a concert at a local venue, and I just expected to get in because I had 20 on me. And the security guard says, you can't come in here if you don't have a credit card, and it's a credit card only show. And right before that, someone had actually driven past, like in their car, just at random, and told me, hey, Nick, I love your magazine. I think he was referring to Blotto. And, that just kind of illustrates the dichotomy. I can't get in a particular show because I don't have a credit card. Like, the system is set up so that it wants me to accumulate debt. I'm not getting a fucking credit card. I pay for everything with cash. If I can't pay for a show with cash, I'm just not going to the fucking show. At the same time, I'm so fucking respected artistically that, like, people will just drive by me and just say, hey, I love your shit. It's really fucking weird, like, to be treated like a second-class citizen because of my preference of currency, and then, like, to be told I'm a great fucking artist, but, I can take both in stride. But you don't learn things in public school that are, like, worth a shit. You might learn, here's how to add, subtract, type bullshit. You don't read books like A Scanner Darkly in public school. At least I don't think you do. I mean, you can check it out of the public school library, but you won't be assigned this in, like, a big English class. You'll read Catcher in the Rye and To Kill a Mockingbird. And back in the day, you'd read Tom Sawyer and Gone with the Wind, but both of those have been taken off the curriculum because they're a bunch of Southern propaganda bullshit. Thankfully, we realize that, but Catcher in the Rye is not much better, really. I can't say I ever had a, favorite teacher, and it seems like the delusion of every teacher here in the United States is to be, the favorite teacher, right? And this is such a quaint little notion. And, going back to, the 1900s, education didn't start out with malicious intent, but it's been so systemized and commodified and factory formatized that you're just not going to get, the quaint 19th century, really visionary, teacher in the school. This is all a bunch of apple pie bullshit. That's not going to happen. And, you're given such stringent incentive and rule set. You can't affect the kids' minds in a way that actually matters. Get used to that. As a teacher, you're not going to make a difference. Nobody gives a shit about you. People give a shit about a novelist like Philip K. Dick because he gets in people's minds. He spreads his ideas around. A Scanner Darkly is fucking awesome. Great fucking book. But when was the last time you assigned it as a teacher? There's never been a teacher I liked. In fact, I hated many of my teachers. I thought they were sad, miserable, small people with small ambitions, very little going on in life. Just overall suckers. I was like, this is your fucking life? You just tell kids what to think and what to do? And if they can't lead us out of this quagmire, then they are failures at their jobs, and they should be embarrassed and humiliated, I think. I had a teacher who was my high school newspaper teacher, and I wrote 2 comics for that fucking newspaper, which, ostensibly was to teach us about freedom of the press, the Fourth Estate, journalism. And one was about, Trump is stupid. This was 2016, right? This was his first presidency. It's Trump is stupid. And my idiot fucking teacher, the dumb bastard she was, she's like, we can't make fun of Republicans. I'm like, my comic is supposed to make fun of Republicans. We can't do that. Hey, as a cartoonist, as a satirist, it's my fucking job to make fun of any fucking demographic I want. Get used to it. I bet she's real embarrassed about that take now. Oh, you can't make fun of these people. Yeah, I fucking can. If they're spouting a bunch of bullshit, I can make fun of them. And the other comic that got rejected was about the border wall or something, and she was like, this is racist. I asked some Mexican students and they said it's racist. I'm like, you ask some fucking 15-year-olds if something's racist and you expect them to know what racist is? No. She's the type to watch Three Amigos and go, this is racist. Even though, all the Mexican characters are played by Mexicans, and the goal of the movie is to show how stupid the white guys are. Oh, this is racist. You can say anything is racist just to stop it from existing, but ultimately if something's about the border wall and it's not racist and it's saying let's welcome immigrants, and it's just a lot of bullshit. My high school newspaper teacher was a fucking idiot. I mean, she was fucking stupid. I wonder where she's at now. But I had no respect for that clown. I thought she was a fucking loser. I was like, this is your job? Hey, you're not a real reporter. You just fucking go in and tell the students, oh, this is racist. Oh, you can't make fun of Republicans. Hey, if I'm making fun of Republicans, I'm not racist, am I? I'm fucking anti-racist. I'm making fun of the racists. Oh, you can't make fun of racists. They're a protected demographic. It's this kind of bullshit that wound us into this shit show in the first place. It's fucking embarrassing. I feel bad for teachers. They're going through a lot, but you ultimately need to realize that you can't change a system if you're just a fucking McDonald's-ass corporatized product of the system. You're not designed to shape anyone's life, form anyone. All you did is shuttle up an entire generation of sad, depressed people, Gen Z, the most boring, shallow, vapid generation, into fucking tech jobs. You didn't teach any of them to be writers. You didn't teach any of them to be artists. You didn't teach any of them to actually move a path forward. You just bought into Elon Musk's bullshit. We raised Elon Musk up, the big celebrity. This is the wrong type of guy to worship. But during my entire high school, middle school curriculum, Elon Musk was the big idea, the big man. Wow, Elon Musk, oh boy, the fuckwit who grew up in apartheid South Africa, now pretends to be American, runs his factories like sweatshops. Let's worship this guy. Hey teachers, you're kind of fucking stupid, aren't you? Anyway, I just find it very both disturbing and interesting that teachers are now reaching out to me and just desperate, what do we do to change things? Well, you're not going to be the ones to change things. Novelists like me are, Philip K. Dick. I heard one time that, what do you think now that you're a science fiction writer and science is being used against the working class? Nick, what do you think? Well, science fiction has never been used to fetishize science, good science fiction anyway, not like Robert Heinlein libertarian bullshit or Arthur C. Clarke pederast bullshit. I'm talking like Philip K. Dick or Harlan Ellison. These guys don't fetishize science. They criticize it, they think about it, they satirize it, they pick it apart in interesting ways. Science fiction and science have actually always been intrinsically opposed, like good science fiction. Science fiction that makes you think critically about the world. So anyway, teachers are in a pickle right now. Can't say I feel sorry for them. Catch you later, suckers.